Great chefs are specific. They're particular. The ingredients they use in their dishes are methodically selected and sourced. We're honored they trust these beloved ingredients to our cookware. Meet Chef Pat Pascarella, who is so particular about the beef he serves in the Lychee in Atlanta, Georgia, that he worked hand in hand with the local farm to attain the most flavorful and delicious Black Angus New York strip possible.
One ingredient that I focus on the most, that I'm the most meticulous about, is definitely the Black Angus New York strip. Growing up, all we ate were non-good cuts. First time I had a New York strip with broccoli rabe on top, it blew my mind. It was one of those things where it was like perfectly marbleized, perfectly seared, beautiful medium rare. I didn't know I liked meat medium rare to that point because my grandmother would butcher the crap out of every piece of meat we ever had. We did a lot of leg cuts, a lot of beef shoulder cuts, a lot of poor man style of cooking, which I really appreciate, but the New York strip is such a versatile cut of meat. There's so much you could do with it. Sous vide it, continue it to be a braise, love to reverse sear because I love New York strips on a reverse sear. And then last but not least, I mean, just a really hard sear in a beautiful carbon steel pan. Competition in Georgia alone for beef is huge, right? I mean, we always go visit the farm to make sure that it's in line with what we believe in. Sustainability, making sure that the farm's being taken care of. 99% of the time is the diet that the beef has, right? So let's say the beef is not eating the correct amount of corn, or if it's 100% grass-fed beef, you're working with different textures on it. It's a tougher piece of steak, there's not much fat on it. It's gonna be a lot harder for you to gain flavor in that dish. You do have farmers that are doing 100% grass-fed, grass-finished. You know, you're really trying to focus on your diet, you're really trying to take care of yourself and everything like that, and that's great. When it comes to a beef that's pasture raised and then it's corn finished, a lot more marbleization, a lot more flavor. When it's sustainable the right way, it's great. When we found Châtel, you know, there's a bunch of other farmers we were dealing with. Inconsistency was there, not enough marbleization of fat, not really much going on when it came to the flavor of the meat, and it made it even harder to cook. My collaboration with Châtel Farms actually just a great experience from the beginning to the end. The owner of the entire place was there, and this guy's got thousands and thousands of cows, you know, and the last thing he needs to be doing is talking to a guy that's gonna order 2 loins a week. They walked you through it all. And when we went there and we saw that the way the Black Angus and the Wagyu and all these animals were taken care of, they just pasture raised all day long. They're not throwing them in pens. But when you look at the animals, they're these big, beautiful animals, and they're just, you could tell they're well taken care of. That's the way I would raise my cows if I had cows. And it just made sense to become a part of putting them into our long line of people that we do business with, especially because first priority is taking care of their cows, second priority is taking care of us, which I love. A lot of times, you know, you get to farms and their focus is so much on, we just need to make money, make money, make money, make money. And their process is more on, let's take care of the cow, and then the cow will take care of the chef, and then the chefs will take care of us. It's the way like we run our restaurants. You take care of your staff, staff take care of your guests. So we use Châtel Farms all throughout our menus in our restaurants. 2 ways here at Lychee, one in a ragu, and the other one is the New York strip that we're gonna sear and butter baste it in a beautiful carbon steel pan because of the retention of heat. If you're looking at it, it distributes heat evenly. When you look at the way that you cook a New York strip, you place it in one spot, and then you start moving it throughout the pan with a good amount of fat in it, it creates an even caramelization. Sometimes on cast iron or other things that you're using, you have a lot of hot spots. That's why I always try to aim towards carbon steel. Growing up, I was never a fan of quality cookware, I'll be honest, right? I bought cheap aluminum pans and all that stuff. If you're gonna be as particular as you are with your ingredients, you should be just as particular or more using cookware, and we decided to use Made In. And it worked out because the same time that I saw an ad for it, I actually was already looking to buy pans for a new restaurant. And it was the first day that actually Made In sent me a carbon steel pan. They're like, just give this a shot. And I was like, okay. And I was making risotto and it was during an Instagram live. And I was like really hoping to God that this pan wasn't gonna fail me. And I remember the creaminess of the risotto, the flavor of the risotto, and a lot of that obviously has to do with the ingredients. And I think that the pan was just perfectly designed to the risotto to just keep flowing as you're doing it. And I remember just literally on screen, fell in love with this pan. I want this pan, I need to get a lot of it. And from that moment on, I was hooked. I mean, it removes a lot of inconsistencies in the kitchen for sure. It's a better process, not to mention it's a lot cooler in the kitchen with it, where aluminum does not do that. But then on top of it, like it's a lot of other competitors in that same bracket, in my opinion, they can't compare. It's one of the only pans that I continuously use and tell other people to use at home as well. We literally utilize them across all 6 of our restaurants at this point. Number 6 is on its way, but we already put our order in. Trying to be as authentic as possible. We refuse to make Alfredo sauce. We refuse to make chicken Parmesan. And sometimes obviously you hit the right guest and you hit the right customer. Totally understand everything that you're doing here, right? Like at the end of the day, we're in the hospitality industry. So, you know, we have to be hospitable in any way possible. What I wanted the diners to take away from experiencing what we're cooking is the authenticity that we bring forward in every single dish that we have. I am Chef Pat Pascarella and I use Made In.